Hey friends, welcome back to Channel Surf. I'm Jazz and I watch a shit ton of TV. And you guys know, based on what I am wearing, and I got my lantern right here, we're talking about the Traitors today. Now, this creator that I'm going to be recapping episode 2 with, you've seen her on my channel before. A lot of you guys commented and said you really liked her. You had already been following her. I want to introduce my next co-host to recap the Traitors with me. One, two, 3, release them.
Hey, not the 1, 2, 3 release of I'm crying.
Hello, Tay.
Hi, thanks for having me back.
So, girl, I am so excited to be talking Traitors with you. I've been looking forward to recapping with you again since we did Potomac. I had so much fun.
Yes, that was so fun. I love talking mess. You know me.
I know you, and I'm so excited to get into your thoughts about the Traitors because, our boy from Love Island is on there. And
Rob.
I realized I don't know how you feel about Rob. How do you feel? Are you a fan of Rob?
So, Love Island, Rob? No, not really. Don't hate him as much as I hate Ace, but but I wasn't a fan. He was way too dramatic when Andrea went home. And I was just, but this is the thing. When he got off of Love Island and he was kind of like, yeah, I'm going back to Alabama to catch snakes. Like, I don't really care about this like media stuff that all of y'all are doing. I started to like him because I was like, oh, he's really chill. And so now on Traitors, I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. I could not love him more.
I really like him on here too. I think I was telling you, I didn't get into Love Island until season 7, but I went back to start watching season 6. So I was familiar with Rob and everything that happened with him. I thought he was like really cute. He's a cute guy. All that. So I was really excited to see what he's doing. But him as a traitor is like really working.
What? He was so excited.
Well.
When they tapped his shoulder, he started smiling. I was like, oh, he's about to be a menace. I can tell.
Yes, he is. So let's get into season 4, episode 2. But before we do that, let's take a moment of silence for our murdered faithful Ian. Okay, rest in peace, Ian.
Nice. I really thought that moment of silence was longer than he was on the show.
Literally.
I thought he was going to last longer, but he was very awkward.
He was super awkward, and I feel like people like him don't fare well unless they are traitors. Like Dan from last season. I think Dan, if he wasn't a traitor, he would have gotten that same treatment that Ian got.
Yeah.
He was a little, awkward and quiet and stuff. So we open episode 2, and it's the continuation of the turret, and we have Candace, Lisa Rinna, and Rob in the turret, and they are trying to determine who they are going to murder. Now, how did you feel when you saw Alan tap Candace and then tap Rinna as traitors?
So I had like mixed emotions because obviously I pretty much watch all the shows except for Survivor. So I know most of the cast. And so I was happy to see that there were 2 housewives, honestly. I know that's like the big debate right now because it's like the gamers versus the housewives and stuff. But they keep getting rid of housewives so quickly on this show. So that kind of protects them a little bit, even though a housewife already went home, but it protects them a little bit. And so I was happy to see that, even though I called it from jump. I was like, Candace is not going to make a good traitor. Like, she talks too much. I knew that from before I watched it. So I was surprised when they tapped her. Lisa, I already knew. I was like, she's going to be traitor for sure.
Yeah. For sure. I feel like that was a general consensus going in. I feel like nobody was shocked that Rinna was one, which to me, though, doesn't bode well for her. Because I'm like, if we as the audience knew that she was going to be a traitor, I'm sure that other people in the castle might be feeling that way. We're still early in the game, though, so she's able to fly under the radar a little bit. But I believe there's going to be a time where they're going to look at her. I actually think in this episode, yes, when Porsha was banished, the other 2 housewives were like, why would Lisa do that? They were kind of already questioning some of her.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I knew they needed a housewife traitor. I was hoping it was going to be Caroline just because I love her personality and I feel like nobody would suspect her because she's like the lesser of the other housewives. But they're both they're both making stupid mistakes, but there's so much going on right now that nobody's really noticing. So like Candace, she called Lisa out for being a traitor before she was even a traitor. So it's like that obvious for Lisa. But I feel like people had their eyes on Donna. Michael is a great distraction because he won't shut up. And
Mhm.
so they're able to like make mistakes and say stuff and not really get caught. But that's why I think Rob is doing so well, because one, I don't think that many people know who he is on that cast. There's
Right.
only one other Love Island person on there. And everybody else is a housewife or Big Brother or Survivor. And I don't think they're just like sitting down watching Rob on Love Island. So they're not going to think he's important enough to be a traitor, maybe. I don't
Mhm.
know.
Yeah, that's the thing with the Love Island people. I said this on the last recap. They're often underestimated when they go on these other shows, because I don't know if you watched the challenge, but anytime they've been on the challenge,
Yeah,
they are really underestimated. And then Olivia from Love Island just won the challenge this last season.
she did.
So
She
they really do come to play. And you have to think, you're in a villa and you're trying to fight for like your man or your woman. That's competitive. It's not the same as Survivor, but it's still very competitive. So
exactly.
they have that edge.
You're fighting for their hearts. Like
Exactly.
there's more at stake.
And that is the toughest fight of all.
I know. Oh my
They
gosh.
are discussing who and why. They're discussing why they should murder each person. And on the short list, there's Rob R, which is really funny, Ian,
Right.
Mark, and Eric. And they're going kind of talking about like why they should murder each person. I personally had no idea who Mark or Eric, who they were.
Oh, I love Mark.
Okay.
I don't know Eric, but I
Sorry.
do know Mark. He's from Dancing with the Stars. He was just Whitney from Secret Life of Mormon Wives, her partner.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's just like a good personality on that show. I don't even watch Dancing with the Stars, but I knew who he was because of the hair.
Yes. Oh, he has lovely, lovely hair.
Yeah.
Did you see that video that he posted with Candace when they're in New York? And
Yes, they're doing something
do you think
together.
Candace is going to be on Dancing with the Stars?
That would be crazy. That
Yeah.
would be interesting because I was like, why are they dancing in the streets together?
It was really good though.
Yeah, it was. So I'm like, she might be. It might be a little crossover.
We'll see. We'll see with that. And then poor Eric, every time they talk about Eric, and I don't know if you noticed it throughout the episode, every time they even bring his name up, they're like, no, that's too random. Like basically saying he's like a no.
I mean, I personally don't. Where is he from? Is he a?
I think he's a musician. I saw that he
Oh,
might do K-pop. I think he's a K-pop musician.
okay. So he probably has like millions of fans somewhere, somewhere. But yeah, I feel bad for him just because he seems really sweet. He's just like, okay, like I'll go in the cage. Okay, you didn't get me. He's just, I don't know,
Yeah.
accepted defeat already, kind of.
Oh, yeah, he's a cutie, but I sadly do not think he's making it far at all. He's either going to be gone midway, but if he's
Yeah.
not gone midway, he's probably going to make it to the end. I feel like those are the only two options for him.
I think he's only going to be murdered. I don't think he'll be banished.
Right, that's true. And what I just said doesn't make sense. I said if he's either going to make it midway or he's going to make it to the end. Duh.
Hello.
Yes, that makes that's how it goes, Jasmine. So they're at the breakfast table, and Lisa, Tiffany, Caroline, and Monet are first.
Mhm.
They talk about the lie that Candace told in episode 1
Yeah.
when she very blatantly told Porsha that Michael wanted to put the coffins in the housewife graves. But she was so quick when she was called out on it that like now she gaslit everyone.
She talks too much. So she said that in the car to Porsha just to stir up drama, like Michael isn't already hated by everybody in the house. Like it was just she's doing too much too soon. That's why I'm like, she's gonna get herself or another traitor in trouble because she's doing too much. Like, why?
Right.
Because Porsha and Mora is the reason Candace wasn't found out.
Yes.
Because Mora, I don't know what game she thinks she's playing. Love her, but I don't remember what team I was on earlier today. I'm like, are you not on a game show? Like, you're supposed to remember stuff like this because she's over here in the car. She looked at Porsha shocked that Candace was telling her this about Michael. They were like, oh my God, they wanted to get the housewives out. And then Porsha is looking to Mora, and she's just like, I don't remember.
Yeah.
So I just feel like Candace, she's did a lot too soon, but luckily they don't remember. So it worked in her favor, I guess.
That was the key, because I also feel like Candace didn't anticipate Porsha actually calling her out on it too. Like I think she was kind of shocked that Porsha made a spectacle of it. So I think she thought she was telling Porsha to try to, like Candace said, like she wants to douse gasoline on Michael's fire. So I think she thought she was doing that, but she didn't consider the fact that Porsha might tell Michael, and then
she thought it was going to be like a little secret between the two of them.
yeah,
No, not Porsha.
no. Not Porsha, and not in a game like this. When you're playing the Traitors, you have to assume everything you say is going to be told to another person.
Exactly. Exactly. Because you could be talking to a traitor.
You could be talking to a traitor. You got to be careful with that. So then, let's talk about the looks really quick at the breakfast table, because Porsha walks in with I don't know if it's like ivory or like a really light yellow dress.
Okay.
That's the prettiest I think I've seen Porsha look. I mean, she's a beautiful woman, but she looks so pretty in that dress, just so soft. And I love that color on her. Do you remember the dress?
I remember. I love this show just because the women really get into the fashion and like, I'm in a castle, I'm gonna just be extra. I just love looking at what they wear. So I love that's a part of the show that probably men don't enjoy, but I'm just like, oh, what is Mora gonna wear? What is, they put it on. So
they really do. And everybody was wearing gloves. That's why I'm wearing gloves, guys, because Johnny Weir came in with his beautiful green gloves. I need those gloves in my life.
Johnny, oh my gosh. I thought he would make a good traitor too.
Oh, do you know him? You watch the Olympics and stuff?
I used to be an ice skater for 12 years. So I met him before, and Tara Lipinski, I like watched her video back when she won the Olympics, like before I was born. But yeah, I was in that whole skating world of like Michelle Kwan and all of those people.
Yeah, what was the one that did Tanya Harding? That's the one that.
Yeah, she knocked somebody's kneecaps, Nancy Kerrigan's kneecaps in.
Yes,
that's very competitive.
She was, and that's the extent of my ice skating knowledge in the Olympics, because I remember that story.
That's all you need to know.
Yeah. And then I watched the movie that they made, I, Tanya. Did you see that with Margot Robbie?
Yes.
Very good movie. So yeah, I love learning that about you. That's so cool. So yeah, Johnny had his nice gloves on. Candace comes in. She also has gloves on. Mora's wearing like motorcycle gloves as well. It's just everybody's wearing gloves. It's a trend, clearly. But the funniest part of the breakfast to me was when Dorinda comes in and immediately starts crying.
Yo, they were so dramatic about the fact that she was still there. I loved it. And that was really led by like Porsha, I believe, if I remember correctly. And I was just like, man, they did her dirty, because everybody was so happy when Dorinda walked in. They're like, you made it. Like,
and she comes in like, I'm so happy I could cry. And then she starts jumping up and down and shit. I'm like, Dorinda.
Bro, and then when she heard about the challenge, she was like, maybe I should have gotten eliminated.
That was hilarious. So then Donna is at the end of the table and she's looking around all suspiciously, but she talks about the fact that like she's just fangirling out. And I think to anyone in her situation, it does make sense, right? Like Taylor and I talked about this in the premiere recap, where it's like you are Donna Kelsey, so you are the mother of these two like NFL champions, I believe, but you're also here with like famous housewives, Olympic skaters, like famous game players from Survivor and Big Brother. So you watch a lot of TV. You do feel like the fan in the room.
Yeah, I would say a part of me, now that we know what we know, a part of me feels like she was fans of like certain people, but that was kind of her excuse for not knowing how to act, I think, because Donna Kelsey does not know who Porsha is. Donna Kelsey is not like, oh my God, Candace Dillard Bassett. Like, she just has no idea. Okay. Her daughter-in-law about to be Taylor Swift. What are we talking about fangirling? I think people were calling her out for not, like, for being quiet, which was suspicious. And then she was like, well, my only excuse that I can think of right now on my feet is I'm fangirling. But who fangirls and is quiet? You fangirl and you act like, oh my God, hey, da da da. Like
Yeah.
you're probably more talkative. You don't fangirl and you're just like, I'm not gonna talk to anybody. I don't
That's
know.
a great point. That is a great point. I think I was trying to give her the benefit of the doubt. Okay, if you are super nervous, you tend to go inward, but you're absolutely right. If you're fangirling, like I'm trying to sit next to the people that I'm actually fangirling. Like
Exactly.
the way Monet and Jam Jam immediately found each other and were like, I love you too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it and I don't think she did bad. I just feel like she was in over her head a little bit, but she was a target anyways. Like I was gonna suspect her whether she was a traitor or not.
100%. So then Jam Jam tells Rob C that he thought he would be murdered, which immediately throws suspicion on to Jam Jam. I think Jam Jam's really fun. Like I didn't watch his season of Survivor, but I think he's doing a good job here. And I like him and Michael Rappaport like going back and forth with each other. It's a rivalry I didn't know I needed.
Man, when I'm telling you, like I'm over it already. I might just have a low tolerance. Like Jam Jam, I have to see more before I decide if I like him.
Sure.
To be fair, like I never watched his season of Survivor. Maybe he is just like that. But him and Michael, at first, I thought it was weird because Mike, you know how many people were on a throne? There were 3 thrones. So why is he honing in on Jam Jam? Oh, I thought we got to state our case for why we should get the shield. And I'm like, there's 2 more people with a shield that's sitting on the throne that you could argue with right now. Why are we just going after Jam Jam? That didn't make sense to me. So, but their little thing that they got going on is very easy for them to just target each other and then to knock out 2 more faithfuls, I guess, because they're just like, okay, if it's not Jam Jam, it's going to be Mike. If it's not Mike. But I don't know. It's all a big distraction, I think. But honestly, I'm here for it because as of right now, I'm enjoying the Traitors. Even though I don't think Candace is a good traitor, I'm enjoying them as a trio. So I don't want them to be found out like right now. So
me either. I always root for the Traitors. And
so all the seasons you rooted for the Traitors.
Yeah, so season 1, I rooted for the Traitors because I wanted Cirie to win because I was like, Cirie needs
Cirie, yeah.
for not winning Survivor ever. I wasn't rooting for Christian though. Like he was one of the Traitors with Cirie.
Yeah, I didn't like him.
Yeah, so I was rooting for the Traitors because I was just rooting for Cirie. And then season 2, I forget who the Traitors were season 2.
I think I agree with you for season 1. Like I didn't like Christian, but I did want Cirie to win. I think I stopped rooting for the Traitors season 2 because if I'm not mistaken, I believe Parvati was a traitor and I could not.
No, that was season
her.
That was season 3 because she was.
That was season 3.
She was with Phaedra, Dan, and she was with Phaedra and Dan. I'm sorry, no, that's season. Girl, I'm getting everything. That was season 2. Phaedra, Dan, and Parvati were
traitors. CT won.
Yeah, CT and Trishelle, which I did not.
Yeah, because season 3, the winners were like Dolores and some people that didn't matter.
Yeah, Gabby, Wendy, and then season 3 is when we had Bob the drag queen, Carolyn, and Boston Rob. Okay, my bad, y'all. Yeah. Season 2, I was rooting for Phaedra, just Housewives connection.
Yeah,
and she was doing so well until Dan did that. I did not care about Dan and Parvati though. And then season 3. I was rooting for Bob the drag queen until he left. And then I was kind of also rooting for Boston Rob with him too until Boston Rob called Bob out.
Yeah. See, I find myself like it goes season to season, but normally I am rooting for the faithfuls, which is kind of weird. I always root for the bad guy. But Parvati, I couldn't stand her so much. I was like, if they don't find her out, I'm done with the show. I can't do this. But no, obviously rooted for Phaedra. Bob the drag queen, I wanted him to go far just because I thought he was entertaining, but I thought he made so many mistakes. And then Boston Rob, I love Boston Rob, but him as a traitor was pissing me off. But this season, I'm just like, I want all the traitors to like do well. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens though. So then it was revealed that Ian was murdered, unfortunately, and I would have murdered Ian too.
Yeah, out of the options, yeah.
Yes, he made sense to me because I feel like in a game like this, we've made history this season on the Traitors. This is the first season where there are no gamers as traitors. So 2 housewives and a Love Island guy. And so I think it is smart of them to target the gamers because in the long run, I don't think they play a better game than like somebody from Big Brother or Survivor because they are like conditioned to look for inconsistencies and to try to figure it out. So I think it's smart to get them out first.
Yeah, I agree. Like, as much as I do love my Big Brother people and I love my Tiffany's, and I feel like it makes you just have two different types of viewers. You have the viewers that want the entertainment aspect, and you want the viewers that want the show to be like a game show, which like it is, but you mix the two. So you're gonna get one or the other. Like you can't please everybody. But I feel like we've had so many seasons of gamers just overplaying their role or turning on each other immediately or like doing something ridiculous in the first like week, and you're just like, why? Relax, like we got time. And so I feel like the housewives like and Love Island mix is so good because now we can see them mess up or we can see them misspeak or we can see them get into argue. That's what we like, you know? We like the drama where less than the strategy or more than the strategy. I mean, we like the drama more than the strategy, but you know, you have different viewers for different things. Like I watch Big Brother for the strategy, but that's why I watch Big Brother. Like Traitors, it's a mixture of both. It doesn't have to all be game, you know?
Right. I watch the Traitors because it's so ridiculous. Like, in what world would a Survivor winner be on the same team as a housewife?
Exactly. Do you see what Alan wears? Okay, you think this game is serious?
It's so unserious.
He throws your picture frame onto the ground as soon as you get eliminated, and y'all are over here like, where's the strategy? And the game they took out Rob C, I think, which he was fantastic catching that. Oh, they're gonna murder in plain sight. And they think it's a bad gameplay to get him out. I'm like, no, them being on to Rob C like he was on to them, and in them getting him out was good gameplay. Like, and Candace hadn't even told the other traitors what he said to her. So they are actually being observant. I think it's great gameplay, actually.
And that's the other thing that I do love is you could underestimate a housewife and somebody from Love Island, but as we are seeing right now with these traitors, they are making really strategic moves and they're super observant and they're like on the same wavelength. Because for them to know to get him out without Candace even telling them that he was onto them, I was like, they're doing so well.
So good. In that chess scene. Okay, that's not even my episode, but
oh no, it is.
Oh, it is?
But we're gonna get to it later.
Oh, okay, my bad. I'm acting like Candace. Let me calm down.
You're good. So Tiffany gives a little speech about Ian, which immediately throws some suspicion onto her. Colton is the first one to pick up on this. I'm gonna just say I don't like Colton, and I don't like him. And this is before I knew what type of person he was. I just didn't like him like that in this episode. I just didn't like how he was moving. I don't know. He just, every time he's on the screen too, like something about him feels so fake.
Yeah, I think he's trying to be like a Dylan Efron, where he was like really smart, but he was also really likable. And then he was cute. So he just became a favorite. And Colton is trying to be that, but he's not, because we remember what you did. Every time he has camera time, if he's not accusing someone of being a traitor for doing something completely normal, he's talking about him being gay. And I'm just like, how do we get here? Oh, I have gay guilt. That's a thing. I mean, it could be a thing, but like, why? He's been talking about himself. We already know, Colton. Like, we know.
Everyone knows.
I feel like we don't hear Monet talking about it. I feel like he's trying to make it like a shtick. Like, yes, I'm smart. I'm gay. I came out the closet. Yes, I used to date women. You know, like how Gabby from last season, she was like, I was on The Bachelor or Bachelorette or whichever show, which one she was on. And now I date girls. And it was cute when she said it because people were like, that, you know, that explains a lot. And we love her for that, you know. Colton's trying to do the same thing. It's not working because he's annoying and a stalker.
Yes. Super.
Anyway, I digress.
So Alan comes in and he goes, there's some sad news. We're off to sourdough. And then he goes, oh, and Ian was murdered.
Oh my gosh.
I
I
love
love him.
his humor because then also at the end of the scene, he goes, polish off your sausage. And then the camera cuts to Rob taking this like wide ass bite of the croissant. And I'm like, this is why we tune into this show because it's so
Thank you. It's
it's
so
so dumb.
silly.
So then they go to the library, and this is where Porsha starts to dig her own grave, so to speak. So she starts misspeaking, and she goes, I also thought it could have been Ian, and he's the one I killed. And I'm like, I understand misspeaking and being nervous, but like, how is that misspeaking?
I was trying to figure that out as well. I feel like it's just like, one, she talks so fast, and I feel like the lingo of, I hate to say like Black people, but it's like sometimes I catch myself doing it where it's like, we done killed somebody, and it's like, it's not like we actually did it, it's we got, I don't know. I understood where she was like, and I just killed him. I know you're not saying you, but you can't make those mistakes in this game because everybody's paying attention to how you breathe and blink. So you can't just say that. But I kind of understood the misspeak a little bit because Michael did the same thing at the end.
He did. He surely did. And I was going to bring that up as well because I think that's a really good distinction to draw. Even though Michael isn't Black, but it is kind of a thing.
He wants to be.
It is kind of a thing. I agree with you there. But then she does this other thing though when they're talking. So we go to the next scene. It's Tiffany who brings up Donna and they're talking about her. But then we go back to the library with Porsha. And then Porsha goes, if we kill a faithful at Banish. And I was like, well, that doesn't even make sense as a sentence.
Yeah, I didn't understand that one either.
If we kill a faithful at Banish. I was like, is something going on with me?
I think she meant, I mean, this woman literally thinks there's 256 days in a year, but I think she meant to say, I feel like her interpreter, what Porsha meant to say was, if we banish someone, but I think she got, if we kill someone at Banish, but Banish isn't the event, it's the round table that's the event. So I think she meant to say if we banish someone at the round table, but she's like, we kill someone at Banish. Porsha, help yourself.
And then it was like, if we kill a faithful at Banish, like you don't kill faithfuls at Banish. Now I'm saying it. You don't kill faithfuls at the round table.
We just don't call it Banish.
Right. That's what it is now. Porsha, we have created new Traitors lingo, and now we have a Porsha interpreter. So like, I love that. Need to be sending her an invoice.
No, seriously.
So then we get to the mission, the first mission of this episode. And I had a question for you. I want to know what you think about this. So you know when they show them going to the mission, they're all in their like mission clothes, right? But the scene before that, they were dressed regularly. And then the scene after that, they're dressed regularly in the same outfits. Do you why did I say that like I was Canadian? Outfits. Do you think they filmed the missions before the day even gets started? Because think about it.
I would say maybe I would think the missions might be either like a completely different time of day or a completely different day, because there's no way they're going to clean up after the mission, put on the same clothes. No, they probably film unless their breakfast is more of a late lunch and then they do the missions first, clean up, act like it's no, but then they have to know who got eliminated. Unless they just act that.
That's true. It's so weird to me though, because I'm also like, well, a lot of these missions, they're getting dirty, they're getting wet, their hair is getting messed up, but the continuity is exactly the same when you see them in the first scenes versus like the next scenes after the missions. Their hair is the same, their outfits are the same.
I would assume that they come into breakfast, figure out who's eliminated. Dang, wait, when they're in their clothes, like their breakfast clothes after the mission, are they talking about the mission that just happened?
No, so they do breakfast, and then that's when Alan comes in and tells them like who was murdered, and then they get ready for the mission. So then the next scene that we see is the mission.
Right.
They go through the mission. Yeah. After that, we see them back in the castle with the same clothes on that they were wearing at breakfast before the mission.
But have you seen a scene where like they're talking about what happened in the mission or anything like that? Like
Before.
like in the no, like after, like when the mission already happened and then we're seeing them back in their clothes. You know how sometimes they'll be like, oh, so and so did this, or when Michael tried to get the token. Are they speaking about the mission? Because that'll tell you right there, maybe they do have to put their clothes right back on or something.
That's actually a really good point. I don't know if they actually talk about the mission because they go back into the castle and then they're just talking about who they're suspecting. They kind of just go back into trying to figure everybody out. So yeah, I think you might be right. I don't think they actually go back and talk about the mission, which leads me to those are filmed either all at once or once. Yeah.
Because if you think about it, the only time I have to watch it back, but to my memory, the only time you hear them talking about the mission is in a confessional.
Yes.
Like after the mission, like they'll talk about it in the confessional and then they'll talk about, yeah, I think we just figured it out.
We cracked the code. Oh my gosh. It's the cloaks. It's really the cloaks that got us on our super detective shit.
Right.
So this mission, they have these 3 thrones and they have to pull and push these thrones. There's 3 stops before they get back to the castle. And at each stop, they get to search for money and they get to search for shield tokens because the people who are sitting on these thrones technically have a shield. So if you are at a stop and you find a shield token, you get to dethrone someone, take your rightful place on the throne, and then you have a shield until you either get back to the castle or the next shield token is presented. So the first 3 people in the thrones are Candace, Tiffany, and Caroline.
Yeah.
And everything is underway. They start the mission and then they get to the first stop. Monet and Steven, they find the shield tokens right away. And Steven is like, I'm going to give my shield token to a woman. Monet does too. But Steven's, I'm going to give my shield token to a woman because I feel like my mom would be proud of me if I did that.
Do you understand how preteen me and now me is just like, Steven? I love him so much. I'm so glad he's cast on the show.
Yeah. Huh? I said he's still so cute too.
He looks the same. I'm like, oh wow, okay. Steven.
Are you bothered that it says One Tree Hill under his name and not Laguna Beach?
Yes, but I'm finding out through TikTok that he was on One Tree Hill for longer than he was on Laguna Beach, which is blowing my mind because I was like, oh, was he?
Yeah, that makes sense. So I didn't watch One Tree Hill, so that's probably
I didn't either.
Yeah, Laguna's just more relevant to me, but yeah, he's super cute. And when he said that, I was like, shout out to you.
I was like, okay, Steven. Did you also notice that Donna Kelsey was nowhere to be found in that challenge?
Okay, you're reading my mind too much. I think you might really be a traitor for real, Tayyy, because that's literally at the end of these notes. I was going to say, did you notice that we did not see Donna Kelsey at all?
I mean, I know she's 76 or something like that, but that would automatically make me suspicious of her because why are we in the dirt and where are you? Where are you at?
Dorinda and Lisa, I mean, they're not in their 70s, but they're women of a certain age and they were out there.
Yeah, as soon as they were like, oh, we're gonna put the women and stuff on the throne, I was like, oh, they're gonna put Donna up there. Oh, they're not. And then I was like, oh, she's not even here.
Right. She ain't even there. That was so strange to me. But I did, because I actually didn't notice it. The first time I watched it, I didn't notice that she wasn't in that mission until I went back and rewatched it. And I was like, wait, she wasn't even there.
Wasn't even there.
So interesting. So anyway, they get to the last stop and then Colton is determined to get a shield token. So he gets his big ass, in the words of Tiffany, on that throne. And then also this is where we get the Michael and Jam Jam tiff that we were talking about earlier in the episode, where Michael thought that they were going to get to plead their cases for the shields. And I'm like, in what world? Why would you?
I don't understand why he just created that rule. That has not happened the whole challenge, but now you want to plead your case when when Jam Jam has a token in his hand, you want to plead your case for him to what? Just give it to you? What?
Yeah, he was so interesting for that. So they get done with the mission. They bank $22,500 into the prize pot and all is well. So they move back into the castle. Donna, Rob, C, Monet, Mark, and Ron are talking, and Monet asks Donna who she's suspecting. Donna has nothing. She has nothing, which is continuing to set people's antennas off. But what I will give her is this in this scene, Tay. It's so early. I feel like a lot of people, when asked head on, wouldn't really have valid reasons to consider or to suspect someone as
Yeah. I mean, I think that they were just looking for her, like, because some people have said who they're suspicious of. Candace dropping Lisa Rinna's name off like first 5 minutes in the castle, or Colton thinking everybody's a traitor. I think they were just trying to see, are you suspicious of anybody? And she could have just jumped on the Michael bandwagon and been like Michael, or whoever else. But I think she just really didn't want to come off suspicious, which made her suspicious. Like,
yeah, her plan just kind of backfired on her a little bit.
mm-hmm.
So then we also get Porsha's third slip up of the night when she says emphatically that there are 4 traitors, and
that was crazy.
Like, what? But here's so in her defense, right? You're her interpreter.
Mm-hmm.
I'm now her lawyer. In in her defense, she was just going off of her knowledge of the way that the game has been played in the past. They've had 3 traitors, and she knows, well, if there's a secret traitor, that must mean that there are 4 of them. So,
I mean, I get it. I get that, but I feel like when you're like in the game, you might not, you don't know. Like, you're just like, even when they get traitors out, they're like, I think there's 2 left. I think the way she said it, she's like, yeah, there's 4 traitors. So instead of being like, well, there could possibly be, like, she didn't use possible, maybe, there's a chance that, like, she was just like, yeah, so there's 4 traitors. And I'm just like, oh my God.
Because she even could have said in the past, there have been 3 regular traitors, and now we know that there's a secret one. There has to be 4, right? Like, just explaining herself a little bit more could have bought her some time, but nonetheless.
You cannot say anything with confidence in this game. Everything has to be a possibility or a maybe. You cannot say anything with confidence, because they're going to be like, how do you know that for sure?
Yeah.
Yep.
And that seals her fate, because then the next scene is the round table, and Natalie gets it started. She starts the party and she starts going for Donna. And I'm saying Donna like that. It's an inside joke to my friends Stan and Alex, if y'all are watching. Donna. Anyway, she immediately starts gunning for Donna. And then Ron comes out with the guns blazing, and he presents his evidence against Porsha. And I'm sorry, us watching it, we know she's a faithful, so we know his evidence is bullshit. But if I'm sitting at that table, I'm gonna ride with him.
Yeah, I agree. I don't understand, or maybe it's my algorithm. So many people are mad at him, and I'm just like, oh, I don't understand why, because he gave evidence that was good evidence. Like, it wasn't like, oh, some little shit. It was multiple things. And he had Donna, he had Mora, he had somebody else saying, yeah, I was there and heard that same thing. So people had his back with the evidence he gave. I feel like if I was in his position, I guess maybe his only fault was doing it too early. But like, some people sit on their evidence until they can build a case.
Yeah.
But I think that I would have voted with Ron as well. And I don't think what he did was traitorous, because people had his back with the evidence he gave. And now that Porsha was a faithful, now everybody's like, oh, Ron must be a traitor. It's like, that's not how this, I don't know. Yeah. I'm not mad at him though. I feel bad for him.
I do too. I feel bad for him. I didn't know that he was getting hate online. Listen, y'all have to stop. Like, this shit is not personal. These are games. These are, I want to call them characters because they're real people at the end of the day, but like, they are playing a game on a TV show. Like, it is never that deep. It's never that deep
at all. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it. All he did was listen and get evidence and play the game. He should not be getting hate for playing the game.
He did what anybody else would do if they were presented with that same evidence. If there were 3 times when they knew that this person misspoke, they would have done the same thing. And then Porsha really didn't do herself any favors, because she didn't deny it. Like, she wasn't coming out and be like, I never said that. She's like, maybe I did misspeak. And I'm like, on the one hand, okay, you're not doing yourself any favors. But on the other hand, now that I'm saying this out loud to you, Tay, that might have made me think about it twice then. Okay, she's being honest about the fact that she misspoke. If she was a traitor, maybe she would be defending this and denying it a little
You get
more.
defensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I feel, and I said this in one of my TikTok videos, Porsha is too dumb to be a traitor. And I don't even mean that. No, I do. She's dumb. And it's okay. We all can't be smart. She's not gonna be this like conniving, strategic, logical person. She never has been smart.
Right.
But maybe this is just people not knowing her and who she is, because I promise you the housewives, they knew Porsha wasn't no dang traitor. They're like, this woman here, nah, she just makes dumb mistakes. She's not going to deny something she said if she might have said it like a regular traitor would do, because I don't even think she realizes what type of game she's on.
I agree with you. And to your point, the housewives all know that, which is why Candace came to her defense. And I think Candace, in so many words, like she didn't want to say Porsha is maybe not the rightest tool in the shed. So like she does misspeak. She did eloquently defend Porsha, but then she tried to flip it back on Donna, which is like, if you were gonna defend Porsha, just defend her and leave it there and let someone else bring up another name. But then you flipped it back to Donna, which then allowed Donna to flip it back on you. Like you're making shit hot, Candy.
I think also Candace defended Porsha because she felt guilty for gaslighting her and being like, now I'm going to make you look suspicious for starting a whole thing, a whole drama over something I said, when Candace, the real traitor, denied that she said that and said, oh no, I was talking about yesterday. Yeah. So I think Candace felt like, okay, I need to do some damage control. But you saw like back when they were filming or right after they were filming, like Candace unfollowed Porsha.
No.
Yeah. And so now that Porsha's gone, I'm like, what happened for like them to do that? Because Porsha wasn't even on the show for long. Because like obviously with Girls Trip, they didn't really get along, so they unfollowed each other. But Traitors, I was like, Porsha was barely on it. So what happened?
That's interesting. Now, I didn't know she unfollowed her. But then Michael also almost gets himself banished. And this is where it comes into play, where he said something about we murdered.
Yep.
Did he say we murdered Ian or?
I believe he said we murdered Ian. Yeah, I think that's what he said. And then, but then when everybody's voting, he votes for Porsha and he says, yeah, I just can't. The slip up was too like prominent in my mind. I'm like, but you just did the same thing. So how can you vote her out because of her slip up when you just made the same exact slip up? It doesn't make sense.
He sure did. And then, before we get into the voting even commencing,
this
was an iconic moment at the round table. I don't know if Maura knew what she was doing. So it's when Ron is laying out his evidence against Porsha and he's saying everything that he witnessed. And then Maura goes, who said that? And then somebody else was like, who said that?
Oh my gosh, what a moment. Do you think Maura did that on purpose?
No, because according to Maura in episode 1, she's never seen the Housewives ever. So she wouldn't know.
Hilarious. That's hilarious.
That was
that makes it even better.
I know. I love that. I was cackling so hard. So yes, the voting commences, and like you said, Michael is he votes for Porsha, but the voting is pretty split between Porsha and Donna, and I find that really interesting. What I found most interesting is Rinna voting for Porsha. Stick to the Housewives code, mama.
I feel like she did that in her mind to not look suspicious.
Sure.
But that made her look suspicious to me. If I didn't know she was already a traitor, I would think that's suspicious because every housewife did not vote for Porsha. Even Porsha looked shocked when Rinna voted for her. And I feel like Rinna was like, oh, they're not going to suspect me because I voted my own housewife out. No, that made you look suspicious because you're the only one. You're the only one that did that.
That's it. And I mean, it's a code to these games. I feel like, I don't know, I feel the closest to the Housewives out of everybody. And mind you, we watch a shit ton of TV, right? So like we've seen all of these shows, but I just feel like extra connected to the Housewives. So I'm like, we as a family, we have to stick together.
Mm-hmm.
We're amongst strangers now. We have to stick together. So I really was like, oh,
They're the
okay.
targets.
Yeah, side eyeing her. So then, yes, Colton deals the final blow, and Porsha is then banished, and Ron is just sitting there looking so salty about it.
Yeah, he knows. He knows he's like next.
That's the unfortunate thing is like we're still so early that when you go on a crusade against someone and they turn out to be faithful, now you look extra suspicious because people don't have anything else to really go off of.
Yeah.
But I mean, it works for the Traitors because they just keep getting more and more shields in front of them. Like we have Michael, Donna, Ron now, who are all more suspicious than like the actual Traitors. So to that point, they're doing good.
Yeah.
So then the next scene, Alan comes out, and I always say this is his Darkwing Duck outfit with that hat and that cape. I love it though. So he comes out and he tells us that the Traitors are going to have to murder in plain sight. Now, this was so tricky.
Yeah, because normally when they have to murder in plain sight, it's get someone to drink something or get someone to touch something. This, they had to find something, grab it. There's way too many people in that house. Normally when they murder in plain sight, way more people have been eliminated before they have to do that. You're murdering in plain sight, what? Your second murder? So it's like you have a house full of 20 people, you have to murder in plain sight. And it's not just getting someone to drink out of something you hand them. It's, I have to find this frame, get it out the frame, go to the fireplace, burn it in the fire. Like, I was like, oh, wow, they're going to get caught for sure.
Yeah, there were so many moving parts. Like my heart was racing because, yeah, like you mentioned, they had to go and find the picture frame, open the picture frame, retrieve the cards, look at the cards to see who was on the short list. Then they had to somehow connect with each other to make the decision about who to murder. And then they had to go and burn that person's card in the breakfast room. There were so many moving parts. I was like, they are not going to do this. I just knew they were going to get it.
Am I the only one that thought that the producers made it so hard for them to murder in plain sight because they wanted to keep the secret traitor a secret for longer, because one of their rewards for completing the mission is meeting the secret traitor. So I was like, they're not gonna complete this mission so that they can prolong meeting them. But they got it done.
They got it done. But yes, to your point, when he explained all of the rules, I was like, no way are they going to be able to get this. But this is what I'm saying. These guys as traitors, it's actually working so well because I think the other part about having housewives and like someone from Love Island, because they're not gamers, they're not like super overthinking everything. You know what I mean? Like they give it, I feel like the right amount of thought and then they just go into it. And so but I did love before they started to enact the plan, Rinna, when she flipped off the cameras after she read what their mission was. But yes, everyone is crushing on Rob. Before we even talk about how they get this done, I thought it was funny how everybody is just like really crushing on Rob. Even Johnny Weir, when he did that whole Rob catch me, and he like ran down.
They love him.
Yeah, they love them some Rob. So anyway, we get in and we are now going to see how the traitors are going to pull off this murder in plain sight.
I was so entertained this whole scene, like this whole challenge that they had to do. I was sat.
I love, this is why we watch this shit, for stuff like this. How ridiculous is it for Candace to be like, you know what would be a great thing to do right now? A conga line. And everybody,
ridiculous or suspicious? Because I was like, if this is not the most suspicious thing I have ever seen in my years of watching Traitors, a conga line?
Yeah, suspicious, but what I have been seeing is that they had been talking about a conga line. It was just edited out. So they had already, it wasn't like completely out of the blue. They had talked about doing a conga line at some point. All of them did it. Now, I don't know if actually, no, I was going to say, I don't know if Candace was the one who initially brought it up, but she didn't know they were going to have to murder in plain sight. So she wouldn't have had the wherewithal to bring this up before she even knew the mission. But apparently they have been talking about it. So it wasn't completely out.
I feel like they should have left that in the show because without context, I'm like, What
Who
the
would
heck?
believe this?
I don't remember the last time I've been a part of a conga line. So let alone on a show where we're trying to figure out people doing suspicious things.
Mhm.
But yeah, if they would have kept that conversation in the show, it would have made Candace look smarter as a traitor because we would have been like, oh, okay, she's doing the conga. Like, I feel like that would have helped her out as far as like for the viewers, because I was like, Candace, what the hell are you doing? But I definitely think, man, it was really like all moving parts, because a gamer is not going to do a conga line. They were probably going to drop something and make it a whole spectacle, and they would think too much into it. Where Candace just, let's get everybody to do a conga line, which is why Rob C caught on to that, because he was like, But I definitely think, obviously, our Love Island Rob was the MVP of all of that,
Yes.
because he was like, okay, how am I going to do this? I'm in a room full of people. The frame's right there. Nobody's leaving.
Yes, he played it so well. Like he
Oh,
joined
wow.
when they go past the kitchen, he goes and joins the conga line at the end. And he's like, "This is stupid. I'm not doing
I'm
this."
not doing
And
this.
he sprints back into the kitchen and
Yeah.
grabs the cards out and slips them in his pocket. Like,
Mhm.
then he goes into the other room and he's like, "Lisa, do you want to play chess?" I didn't know you were such a genius, Rob.
Man. And like, you know what? If Candace does get found out, which I think will happen, I hope not before Lisa. I think Rob and Lisa would make a great duo, even though they are probably going to recruit somebody, because that chess scene meant so much to me. Like, they were sitting there in front of Tara Lipinski, because Tara Lipinski just watching them for whatever reason, because I have never been interested in watching anybody play chess.
Same.
But yeah, they're just like, he's like, okay, you have 4 pawns. And he's just, and then she's like, okay. And then they're trying to whisper the names. That scene meant so much to me. I was like, yo, these two, I like it.
I'm getting chills just thinking about it because it was so like you have to
I
be
might
so
have to watch it again.
Yeah, it's so good. You have to be so quick on your feet in a game like this. And that was just such a genius thing to do. Like, I love that scene so much. But yeah, like you mentioned, Rob immediately clocks the foolishness. He's like, something is not right here. Something is amiss. And he tells Tiffany, but then he also mentions it to Candace. Now, I think Rob should have sounded the alarm a little bit more about that.
Yeah.
Because, you know, if you think that they're doing a murder in plain sight, you don't know how they're going to do it, but you just got this huge piece of evidence that Candace was the one who started this really like suspect conga line. I would have gone to tell at least 2 other people just in case I'm the one who ends up murdered.
Yeah, his mistake was telling the one that started the conga line. Like, telling the traitor, like, at that point you might as well have just made an announcement, but of course he doesn't know he was talking to a traitor. But I agree, I feel, well, it could have worked. See, it's so, this is why this game is so hard, because you don't know if a move you're making is smart or dumb until you're at that round table, because people will call anything up. They'll be like, oh, I saw you hold your fork a different way, you're a traitor. So if he would have made a bigger spectacle of being murdered in plain sight, and then like they had that murder, they don't even know. They didn't even know, because normally they announce like, oh, we had someone murdered in plain sight, and they walked to their own funeral or something like that. Alan didn't even tell them. They just thought they just got murdered in the night, remember?
Right. Yeah.
So that would have probably been bad for Rob if he wasn't the one that was murdered, because they would have been like, he's over here telling everybody everyone's getting murdered in plain sight, and it never happened. So what are you talking about? That's suspicious. I don't know. You can't make a right move in this game.
It's really not. And that's why I don't understand like these hardcore like strategists. Because how do you strategize in a game like this when everything is so fucking random and you never know what's going to happen? And it's just one of those games where like you can try to have some strategy. I guess I appreciate that, but there's no way to say someone is like a great strategist, because a lot of this stuff is just by chance.
Yeah, and everyone in the beginning has a hive mindset. Like, you're just going to go with the rest of the people. So if one person says this is suspicious, another 3 more people say this is suspicious, I'm gonna just vote with them so I don't ruffle any feathers, because that one person that does the stray vote, they'll remember that and be like, oh, you voted for so-and-so, and then
Mhm.
they turned out to be a traitor, so you're a traitor. It's okay, well.
Oh, I jumped way ahead with this. I didn't explain who was on the short list, the cards that were in the thing
Oh,
that.
right.
But here's the thing, subscribers, if you're watching this, I assume you've already watched all 3 episodes, so forgive us. But in the card deck, Monet, Rob C, Tara Lipinski, and Kristen. And so those are the people on the short list. And we know that they were successful with the murder in plain sight because we see them go into the breakfast room to burn the card. Now, I do have a question. I don't think that this actually would have worked out, but I was like, is it shady that they didn't even mention to Candace who they were going to murder? Or did
I
they
don't
just
think it was shady.
or that
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. I don't think right now, I don't think any of the 3 are trying to take one out or trying to make
Right.
anyone look suspicious. I actually think they genuinely like working together. I think that mission, there's so many people in that house. They were like, and they're being timed, like that chime ring where they all have to leave the castle. So they're like, we got to do this right now. So I don't think Rob and Rinna were like, let's leave Candace out of it. I think they were already together. People are already heading upstairs to do whatever. So they're like, we got to do this right now. So I don't think that was malicious at all. I think Candace already knew. She was like, I don't even know who got murdered, but at least it was done.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I agree with
they're
you.
a team. Like they're a team right now. And I like to see that because they turn on each other so quick.
That's what I hate. Like,
like,
I don't like that. And that's I feel like you get that when you have the gamers as traitors.
You're right. You're right.
They're so used to being conniving and like cutting people. That's what they have to do. You have to do that in Survivor if you want to win $1 million. You could be my ally today. I might have to get rid of you tomorrow if I want my million. The same thing with Big Brother. You might be my ally, but I'm trying to win $750,000. So you might have to go on the block. You know what I mean? So like that's why the gamers come into it with that same mindset. But yeah, I like that they're a well-oiled machine right now, and that they made a pact that they won't turn on each other. That sucks the life out of the game. And I just talked about this, but like when they take the traitor's oath, they actually vow to keep each other's identity a secret. So I don't know why they're so good at that.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail right on the head. Like the gamers, they want to have more control. So say they're in the turret and they're like, I want this person to go home. And then somebody's, no, but I want this person to go home. Now in their mind, they're like, I want you to go home, actually. And it's no, that's not how this works.
Yeah.
Like even Rob at the final roundtable that we saw, he was like, I hope we don't get the secret traitor out because I want to work together. They have the mindset of what you're supposed to be a traitor on the show for. Like we started turning on each other in like season 2, like later on. But like last season, I remember they're just turning on each other immediately. And I'm just like, what are we doing?
Okay.
Yeah, I definitely feel like 1, having 2 housewives are going to have each other's back. 2, Rob doesn't seem, I feel like he can be conniving, but he knows right now he's having so much fun being a traitor. I think he's just like, shoot, I'm going to lay low as a faithful and have fun as a traitor. He's not trying to do too much. And I think that's why it's so fun to watch, because I enjoy seeing them work as a team.
Same. And so, yeah, that actually brings us to the end of that episode. Now, before we get done, do you have any predictions moving forward?
Ooh, as to what?
Who's like maybe who you might think will win? Do you think, yeah, we already know that you think Candace is going to be found out sooner than later. Do you have any other predictions?
Okay, I'm going to switch that prediction. Okay. I feel like Candace is either going to be found out or accidentally get somebody else like Rob or Rinna in trouble. Like I think she's going to be the demise of like them being found out because she talks too much. Rinna talks a lot, but she talks about nonsense. Candace is talking about the game and she keeps saying stuff. And I feel like she's going to say something about herself, Rob, or Rinna that are going to have people like, maybe we should look at Rinna. Maybe that's going to piss me off.
No, it is.
But yeah, that's my prediction as far as if the traitors get found out. I do think it's going to be Candace's fault.
Damn, that sucks because I'm pulling for Candace. I like Candace a lot. I'm also pulling for Tiffany Mitchell.
Yes.
Monet Exchange. I want Monet to stay as long as they possibly can. Monet's just so funny to me.
They're laying low, so I think that's good for them because I don't think they've ruffled any feathers or anything like that. So I think Monet's going to stay for a while. I hope so.
Yeah, I agree with you. And then one last question. If you were going on the Traitors, would you want to be a faithful or a traitor, or would you want to be Alan?
Who doesn't want to be Alan? I would want to be Alan. No, I'm so greedy that I definitely feel like I'd want to experience everything. So I want to be recruited. Like I would want to be like the turncoat. Like I was a faithful trying to find a traitor and then I got recruited. Like I want to experience all of it.
I love that answer actually, because you're right. You get the best of both worlds. Hey, Miley Cyrus.
Right.
If you start off as a faithful and then you get recruited as a traitor, that's really good. I say, and I think I'm going to say this for the entire season, I would have to be a faithful because like I would make a really bad traitor.
You think so?
Oh gosh, like I talk a lot. Maybe that's why I vibe with Candace, because I talk a lot too. And then I don't like when I lie. If I lie about something, I'll forget that I lied about it.
Oh, you can't do that.
That's what I'm saying. My memory is like, I don't think my memory is good enough for me to make a really good traitor. And then also I can start oversharing too. So I'll be talking to you at the table and I'm like, yeah, girl, because last night in the turret, did you know?
No.
And you'll be like, in the what?
That's so funny. Okay. Well, yeah, you'd probably be a better faithful. See, I'm like more of a listener. Like I just like kind of listen to people. But I mean, I still talk. I would probably be like a quieter Rinna. Like I will talk to be social. So I'm not like, oh, she's so quiet. But I'm not talking about anything important. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So Tayyy, I'm going to let you go, but please let my subscribers know, if they don't already, where they can find you and follow you.
It's right here, Tayyy.V, 3 Ys on TikTok and YouTube and Instagram, all the things. But yeah, mostly on TikTok. That's where I'd be talking my mess.
Thank you guys so much for tuning into my Traitors recap with Tayyy. Make sure you go follow her so you can stay up to date on all of her thoughts about the Traitors. And then make sure you come back next time, because I'm recapping this shit for the entire season. So I'll be back with another one of your favorite creators, and we're going to be talking about all things deception, murder, and mayhem. See you next time. Bye.